tonight.
Train Soul Sister. Every week, an average of 32 postal workers are attacked by dogs. Posties are really getting it at the moment. The Royal Mail says that's 1,600 incidents every single year. And some of the attacks lead to permanent, even disabling injuries. The Royal Mail has identified hotspots around the UK. The worst places: Sheffield, Belfast, Tunbridge Wells. They say the vast majority of incidents take place on the doorstep or in the garden when people haven't put their dog away safely before they open the front door. Nearly a quarter of accidents happen when, incredibly, poor old postie puts his or her hand through the letterbox to just get the letters through, get them safe, and the dog bites the hand. So dog owners are being told, please, if you've got a dog, fit a wire letter catcher on the inside of the front door. And secondly, never open the front door with the dog standing behind you. Maybe you are a postal worker who's been hurt by a dog. We'd love to hear from you. Do email vine@bbc.co.uk. Just give us your phone number in the email. We'll call you back. Text us 88291. WhatsApp us on the long number. Kevin Simpson joins us, postman for 35 years in Southend, as does Anna Webb, canine expert and host of A Dog's Life. I'm assuming that's your dog I can hear, Anna.
No, I'm on location at the moment, Jeremy, so there are no dogs here at the moment.
Oh, right, so it's Kevin's dog. Is it Kevin?
No, it's not my dog.
I heard a random dog. It might be, maybe it's Steve Wright's. So, listen, how are you doing, Kevin? How's it been?
Yeah, no, I'm all good, thank you very much.
But I gather biting is just one of those things. It's a cliche, but it still happens, and far too often.
Yeah, it's an occupational hazard, unfortunately, and to be fair, people make light of it, but it can have life-changing implications. I mean, we've had an incident within my unit where a postman was bitten by a dog, and he had to have several operations on his hands due to infection and complications, and he was out of work for nearly 8 months.
That's terrible. And I know, been bitten when you put your hand through the front door?
Not me personally, but I do know of posties within my unit that have experienced that. And to be fair, it's the shock of putting your hand through somewhere and all of a sudden a dog's hanging off of it. It is frightening.
Have you been bitten yourself?
Yeah, many moons ago.
Okay, tell us about that.
Well, I knocked on a door and handed the lady her parcel. And her Alsatian jumped up and bit my arm and was hanging off my forearm. And ironically, the lady actually turned around and said to me, "Oh, he's never done that before."
Oh, well, Anna, owners always say that, I'm afraid, don't they?
Yeah, absolutely. That's
Anna?
certainly been my experience.
Well, yes. I mean, I come across this daily, often, on a regular walk when a dog comes bounding over and the owner's got no recall, which is something else that's a common problem in London parks, particularly at the moment. Oh, he usually comes back to me. But look, the responsibility is really with the pet parent, the dog owner at the moment, to educate dogs to really handle living in a modern world. And living in a modern world includes the postie coming once a day, deliveries that need signing for. It's something we've become very accustomed to through lockdown, particularly when we couldn't go anywhere to do our shopping, for example. Dogs need an alternative behaviour. When bits of paper, which is what the dog thinks it is, come flying through your letterbox, it's a source of great interest for many dogs, particularly little terriers. But you've got to desensitise your dogs to understand that these things are left alone. The front door is something that is respected. It's all about training your dog to understand rules and teamwork. And what I always talk about in life is boundaries. We all need boundaries, and dogs really need boundaries around front doors.
Kevin, I thought the post office had issued posties with a kind of a wooden peg that you can use to push the letters through.
Yeah, in actual fact, that is part of our day-to-day kit. But it's like most things as well. You get up, you sometimes forget your mobile phone. You won't always have your posting peg with you. There might be a strange dog in the house. There might be new people have moved into the house. So you wouldn't necessarily have it on every single household that you go to, because obviously the time that would take, getting your peg out, putting the letters in, putting it through the letterbox, so time constraints.
Yeah.
So, again, it's like that your speaker just said, it is all about educating the dogs. Postmen might even be new to that delivery, so he might not know what where the dogs are on that particular round. You know, there's so many anomalies in here. Just providing a posting peg isn't necessarily the answer. The onus does come down on the owner.
Well, what about, Kevin, having some sort of sanction where you just have simply one bite and you're out? So once your dog has bitten a postie, you're not going to get any more letters delivered for a year.
Well, let's put it this way. There has been instances, and I'm sure the media has jumped on these issues with regards to issues of health and safety, whereby it has caused danger to the postmen and women of the country. And yes, Royal Mail do that. They do send letters to the people saying that if this issue isn't resolved, you will no longer be receiving a delivery and you'll have to come to the delivery unit to pick it up.
Is that fair, Anna? Say from now on you're going to come to the postal sorting office yourself?
Absolutely. I mean, in dog training, there are positive consequences and sometimes negative consequences. So I think for humans as well, you know, if you can't control your dog around your front door, for your own dog's safety as well, you know, turn it on their head here. You know, if your dog's going to run out, charging out into a main road and get run over, that's going to be also very upsetting. So, as I say, it's rules around the front door, whether it's just visitors coming in, letters coming through, because you don't want your post shredded. I mean, many years ago, I banked a cheque in those old days that had doggy teeth marks in, you know. So you don't want things like that happening either, important documents being eaten by your dog. So it's about teaching the dog the boundaries. And then you can train your dog to wait in the bed while the letters come through the door, then perhaps ask your dog to go and pick up your post and bring it to you. You turn it into a game, and a dog's world should be a game based on rules and teamwork, but it involves doing a lot of work and patience and consistency on the part of the pet parent stroke owner.
Thank you very much. Anna Webb, canine expert and host of A Dog's Life, the podcast, and Kevin Simpson, postie for 35 years in Southend. Still happening. Postal workers still being bitten.